Hey, welcome to the Dankest Dungeon. I am Matt, and this is Corbin. Today we are here building Yishtala or something. I probably should have looked up how to pronounce that between when I played it last week and when we decided to build this.
Whatever you said on the video,
Yeah.
apparently it was right.
Oh, that's good.
Somebody in the chat said, yeah. Someone
I
in the comment section was like, "You did it right."
I didn't notice, but okay. That's good. Okay. Well, we're here now. Anyway, this is our cat friend, Yishtala. Uh, and you may be wondering why we are building this deck when I already played it on the channel, and you probably watched that yesterday-ish or perhaps today sometime. Um, well, the reason is that there's a lot of different things that you can do with this commander. You can build it as a pretty neat Esper Control looking deck. I thought about playing that. Obviously, I ended up playing some kind of an artifact combo deck. There are a few other ways that you can take it, and one of those ways is enchantress. Non-green enchantress is kind of difficult, but luckily I have a master of the craft here next to me.
I may or may not have built a number of non-green
Non-green.
enchantment stuff. Yeah. Well, non-blue too, but
Yeah, non-green enchantresses. This is a deck that I was thinking about building for the gameplay video as well, and Corbin was also thinking about it, at least in the back of his mind. He seemed
I
to
was.
say, okay,
And then you're all like, "I called this 2 months ago."
I
I'm
did.
like, "Fine, whatever."
Anyway, so now we're going to build it. And you may also then be asking, but wait, Enchantress, don't you want to play a lot of cheap enchantments? How does that help you with this commander? Well, let's see. For one, we're going to be playing a lot of cost reducers to make our enchantments expensive for mana value to trigger our commander, while also being cheap in mana cost, so that we can play a bunch of them in one turn. And because we are lacking a lot of the good actual enchantresses that you draw cards with, being in not green, we can kind of mitigate that with our commander's ability. It only says once per turn. No, not that ability. The other ability. Because you see, if you cast a non-creature spell that costs mana value 3 or greater, you can ping each opponent. And if you're pinging each opponent, you can play a card called Curiosity, which, believe it or not, has text other than you win the game if you have Nip Miss it. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, not combat damage, you may draw a card. What that means is every time we cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, and we've got Curiosity on Yushala, we get to draw 3 cards.
Yep.
Which is even better than an Enchantress, sometimes. And there are 3 copies of this effect, of which 2 are enchantments. Pretty neat.
Yeah, 2 are enchantments and 2 are mana value 3 or greater. One of them is a creature though, so it doesn't trigger the commander, but one of them does. So 33.3 repeating percent. Let's go.
Yeah, I had these in the version that I played on the channel as well, but I didn't actually get to put any of them in play, so unfortunate, but here we are giving them another chance at life. The fact that these are actually specifically auras is also important.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways you can look at an Enchantress deck. If you look at the fundamental principle behind an Enchantress deck, it is to produce a bunch of mana in order to chain a bunch of spells together that happen to be enchantments, because you use enchantment synergies like that of Argothian Enchantress to continue to draw yourself more cards and produce more mana with cards like Sarah's Sanctum. If that sounds very familiar to you, that's because that's pretty much the same basis of a traditional storm deck. Make mana, draw cards, make more mana. Which is probably why I'm decent at this archetype.
Probably why you play the
This is
archetype.
probably why I play the archetype. When you look at a non-green enchantment-based combo deck, you do not have a standard enchantress like Well, actually, there is one now, thanks to Dustmorn.
Yeah.
But outside of that one and Mason Enchantress, every other card that draws you cards off of enchantments in Esper specifically states aura. So yeah, like Core Spirit Dancer, that's on the screen there. Being able to chain your spells so you can draw more cards, so that you can find more ways to produce mana and play more cards is where we want to be at. So what Matt is doing now is just on
Grabbing,
all these so we can play them.
yeah, basically just these three. We might
Put
grab some other things like
put
Nerd Rage,
Hateful in the considering
maybe.
pile, yeah.
Yeah. Hateful Eidolon is pretty good if you have that specific kind of thing going on, but for the most part, I think we're going to be targeting our own stuff. It's not impossible that we will throw like Phyresis in here or something because it is an aura. And we haven't exactly come up with a way to win the game, but we probably won't need it this time. It's pretty good though, I think.
Yeah, Phyresis and Glimmer Juice, whatever that other card is. There's actually
Glimmering
two.
Oil.
Yeah, Glistening Oil.
Glistening
There
Oil.
it is.
And the 5-mana control creature.
Yes.
If you
The
want
5-mana one would probably be a little bit better for obvious reasons, but or more synergistic, I should say. If you give her Infect, that reduces your clock, which is an interesting concept, but
Yeah.
if you build the deck correctly, that probably doesn't really matter. So,
Yeah, for this anyway.
Yeah.
As an Enchantress deck, I think that we probably don't need it.
Yeah.
It would actually be pretty interesting as like a finisher for a control deck though.
That
Like
is
if you
true.
were to build it as control,
Yeah.
because ultimately speaking, like you do need to win the game somehow. And to cast 5 spells is a pretty
quickly,
reasonable
yeah.
win condition when you're casting things like Snuff Out and Force of Will for 0 mana that for your commander.
100%.
So I don't dislike the infect
We should
thing.
put in Mason Enchantress and that other one. I
Yeah.
don't know. Don't remember which that one was called though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fury.
The infect idea is pretty funny. I may or may not have built a Mardu Enchantress list. I don't know, in my past, we'll say. But the whole point of that was to use Opalescence to animate repercussions and then give that infect so you can smack everybody's creatures and then they die. Because repercussions deals the damage. Fear of sleep paralysis, what? So what was the that one? That might be
One.
Yeah.
Whatever enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, surveil 2. If this is the first time. Second time, each opponent discards a card. Third time, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield.
It depends on how many creatures we're gonna end up having, but
Yeah.
surveilling 2 just by default is pretty decent, especially if it opens up like replenish lines if we're gonna be on that. But
Sure, I'll put it in for now. You never know.
I don't
The rest of
think
these
any
are
of
with mono.
those. Yeah, if we were on, there's one that makes creatures. If we were on that type of plan, that would be good, but we're not. So.
Yeah. We did go to MagicCon Chicago. Myself, Corbin, Brent, David. Was Steve there? I don't remember.
Steve was there
Steve
for
was
like
there.
a day.
Yeah. Jason didn't end up going. He was thinking about it though. I don't think any of us are really planning to go to Vegas
No.
or any of those, but yeah, it was a good time. Took some pictures. Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was playing limited the whole time, but
We took exactly one picture.
yeah, Brent took exactly one picture.
Yeah, there. Brent took a picture. I took a picture with a fan. I believe his name was Robert. It's been months though now, so I don't remember completely. If you're hearing this, sir, whoever you are, I remember you. Just not your name.
Vaguely.
Vague. Oh man, his Tory. He had a Tory toolbox Hinsey deck. That deck slapped. Let me
Nice.
tell you, it was a fun game. Anyway,
Have you considered illicit masquerade?
you. I'm not trying to get us banned from YouTube, so
Yeah, maybe later.
maybe later. After in the second hour, I'll cuss you out.
It is an enchantment of mana value for your greater, but
I don't know if we're gonna be on that
probably
many
not.
creatures.
Yeah, if we were harder on like the mill plan for replenish or whatever, maybe. But we're really not trying to kill our own creatures, so we won't really trigger it that much.
But yeah, so okay, so we've got some a bit like our commander itself is kind of an enchantress, and then with the curiosity effects, even more so, and then we have more traditional enchantresses in there. Um, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So apart from those, obviously more card draw is going to be good. We'll probably play some number of cards that actually just draw cards. Ideally, multiple cards. I put in Nerd Rage for now because it's just divination as an enchantment, but we'll see if that one makes the cut. Sage's Reverie, however, can draw you a whole bunch of cards.
Yep.
Um, Especially given that we're going to be focusing mostly on trying to do enchantress things. It's probably going to draw a bunch of cards, hopefully, or aura things specifically. We're not really playing veto or anything because we are not trying to pass the turn. It's if you are trying to build a deck that is trying to grind your opponents out and get a draw trigger at end step from one cast trigger, then those kinds of effects are pretty okay. So are clones. Clones are even better at it. So is
Speaking of which, we should probably be on
Roaming Throne.
yes, and also
Delny, maybe.
Downey.
Delny's really good with all of our enchantresses and also our commander.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. Um, no, the clone that makes a non-legendary version.
There's a few of those.
Um, specifically the one that also copies Planeswalkers.
Spark Double?
Yeah, that one.
John Arenicus's Vile Duplication is better because it is a non-creature spell.
Yeah, let's do that. It also doesn't. It also will trigger Downey more often because it doesn't come in with a +1/+1 counter. What are we trying to do? We are trying to create a turn in which we continue to chain spells to kill our opponents with triggered.
Yeah, basically, we're trying to cast a bunch of enchantments, enchantress-wise. Enchantress is a powerful archetype because there are a lot of ways that you can gain mana from enchantments and a lot of ways to draw cards from casting enchantments, a lot of ways to reduce the cost of enchantments so that you can cast more of them in one turn, all that fun stuff. A bunch of loops you can do. And if we are casting a bunch of spells in one turn, we can use Lila's top ability to drain people out, or draw cards if she is enchanted or soul bonded, I guess. He's probably going in.
Yeah, you can name enchantment with Kalki.
Cloud Key's probably reasonable. Do we want like Stormscape Familiar?
It the familiars are gonna. Well, I guess specifically that one depends on how many blue spells we end up having. No, It's white,
White
and
and
black.
black.
Yeah, so it depends on how many of those.
How many white and black spells?
Yeah.
I mean, we could also play the other two, but
Bulls the Citadel isn't bad.
Citadel is a pretty reasonable card. We always consider it.
I was also considering Omniscience, but
Yeah. Do you have a Siege the mirror?
it's you can bargain it pretty easy.
Cloud Key. Do we want
Ace Enchantress is already in the list.
Yeah.
Stan is interesting.
Sten's probably reasonable. It's just like another cost reducer.
Yeah.
It was in my initial list for the thing I played on the channel, but I ultimately ended up cutting it because I was trying to get very much into the colorless cost things. We're probably going to put... Maybe not, though. For now, at least.
Yeah.
Grand Arbiter?
Painful Quandary is not that good, specifically because, as Matt stated, we're not looking to pass the turn too often. If this was a grindier game, Painful Quandary would be fine, especially if you play other cards to kill your opponent's hand. Is Helm of the Gas Lord does that actually trigger on damage, or is it combat damage? I guess we can check after this.
Yeah, we can check. I suspect it is just combat damage, but we can look. Or in this query was back.
Oh, it's on damage? Okay. Yeah, we'll double check, but yeah, as long as it says specifically on damage, I'm down to play that card.
I'll throw this in for now. Let it.
We can play Dream Halls.
We could play Dream Halls. Dream Halls is not a bad card when you are winning. Medallions are here. We might throw one of those in at the end, depending on stuff. You want Semblance Anvil?
That's a 2. It reduces by 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try it.
Okay. Going down a card is kind of rough, but in theory we should be drawing a bunch.
Yeah.
Then Starnheim Coursers, probably.
I mean, if you're on that, you might as well be on Starfield and Mystic first. But
well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if we want that too. I end up cutting it from a lot of my Enchantress lists.
Okay. We'll cut it later.
Okay, sounds good.
Put this into and we can cut that later. Urza. Urza was one of the last cuts to my previous, to the artifact version of the list.
Sure.
Since I had Mightstone, Weakstone in there, I kind of just wanted to jam them, but I couldn't really justify it. We want Will. He only works if summoning sickness something, but our commander does gain us life.
I think he's fine for now. Like, I'd play him over Stormhigh and Courser.
Sure. Okay. Look at
Helm of the Gas Lord or whatever. Dream Devourer. Is that dude with... Oh, yeah. All right.
Take it. Also discard.
Ooh, let's
It's kinda neat.
go. Yeah, that's them up.
Yeah, they don't print a lot of cards like that, but take it. Sure. Card. No.
We should look at. Well, actually, so yeah, that's fine. What I was gonna say though is we should take a look at how we're producing this mana. Period.
Yeah.
So
So the two different ways, I mean, obviously we've got, well, there's a few different ways. Obviously, we're playing a bunch of cost reducers, which will help us get to a certain point, but eventually you will run out, especially since all of these cards have colored mana in them, and all the loops that we're trying to do will probably have colored mana in them as well. One of the most consistent ways to get mana out of enchantments is Sarah's Sanctum.
yes, Tandem is in the list currently.
Yeah, he's down here.
No, keep shouting out ideas. We might miss something.
Yeah, we missed Thing of the Gas Lord.
Yeah, we did miss Helm of the Gas Lord. Okay, so yeah, Sarah Sanctum
So Sarah's
obviously.
Sanctum,
Nykthos is good.
Nykthos is
But
pretty good. That's only 2 cards though, and it is a lot harder to untap them in these colors than it is in green. There are a few ways that we can accomplish that though, like Cloud of Fairies.
yep, so the old we want to be on Cloudstone Curio anyway. And so because Cloudstone Curio, if you run out of enchantments, it'll allow you to cast an enchantment to bounce another enchantment to continue your combo. So that is good. But combined with land untappers like Cloud of Fairies, as well as probably the 5 mana one with Peregrine Drake, would be fine. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't think there's a non-creature way to untap lands in Esper. That is 3 or more. There's obviously stuff like well, there's one-shot effects like
Turnabout and whatever.
yeah, but I don't know if we're gonna be on there. Why enchantments? Because we felt like it. So
We kind of explained it at the beginning, but basically, if we want to take advantage of the fact that our commander can hit our opponents for every spell we cast with certain properties, we want to be able to cast a bunch of spells with those properties. And one of the good ways to do that is to cast a bunch of enchantment spells in one turn. You can do it with artifacts as well. That's why I did it on the channel recently. But enchantments is really interesting because you get to play cool stuff like Nerd Rage. I don't know if we're going to be playing Nerd Rage.
Yeah, Sheltered by Ghosts isn't a bad idea.
A strong card. Popping up in all kinds of formats. I'm even seeing a little bit of it in Legacy. Put it in the cube, etc. That gives our commander a lifelink, which is neat, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it helps with like Bolas' Citadel stuff, so. There's also a 3 mana one that only gets a creature, but it gives your creature ward 2. Forgot what it's called, but we can worry about that later.
The other way that we can do it, if we're doing this kind of a thing, to produce mana, if we don't have, let's say, a Third Sanctum effect in play, we could use Displacer Kitten to blink our Clouds of Fairies or what have you.
That is true. Displacer Kitten wouldn't be a bad idea. There's also one enchantress effect that cares about it just the enchantment ETB and nothing else. So it will have some synergy with that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, No. Specifically, so Dream Devour is decent if the way you sequence your turns would be to like if you end up having a bunch of extra mana and you can lay away cards in your hand, um, Dream Devourer is good. In this case, the way the deck works, or in theory, the way we want the deck to work, the fact that you can't foretell a card the same turn that you or can't cast the foretold card the same turn. Once you get to the point where Dream Devourer and you have extra mana, you're just doing the thing already. Early game, you want to be casting a setup creature like a enchantress and or more mana. So eventually we'll obviously be adding Soul Ring and such into the deck, but um, yeah, the flower doesn't really fit. I will say, if you were running a flavor of Garuda clones that includes black, Dream Devourer is pretty saucy.
Mhm.
But anyway, um,
Additional ways to produce mana with this. We can use Mind Over Matter.
Mind Over Matter would actually be really good. Yes.
So the card Mind Over Matter, for those of you uninitiated, is basically you can discard a card to tap or untap artifact, creature, or land. So untap, discard a card. It turns all of the cards in your hand into 0 mana twiddles, which is really good when every time you cast a spell that costs potentially 3 or greater, you can draw 3 cards. Especially if the cost reduced, because then you can discard 2 of the cards you draw to get 2 more mana out of your lands, or lots more mana if you happen to have one of the good lands.
Yeah.
And it is itself both an enchantment and a non-creature spell with greater than 3 mana value on it. Necropotence is probably good enough. We're not really looking to discard stuff. It does lean us pretty heavily into black, but I guess we're kind of already there. We are theoretically going to try to make this bracket 3, and Necropotence just got put on the no-no list, so we'll probably have to cut, I guess, Fierce Guardianship at that point, but it's probably worth it. For now.
We could also.
We might end up.
There's a world where we cut
I don't know.
Citadel and we lean more towards blue, white, splashing black.
That is probably how it's going to shake out in the end. You may notice that our only black cards right now are triple black, except for our commander and the store.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing that we might want to think about. Do we want Recruiter of the Guard?
Recruiter of the Guard. Yeah, Recruiter of the Guard's fine.
Recruiter gets some of our enchantresses. Unfortunately, it doesn't get the cool one, Entity Tracker, but it gets Tandem Lookout. It gets all. Oh, not that one. These dorks, and it gets Kitten, and it gets Delny.
Yeah.
Do we want to run Words of Wind?
Words of Wind is another Cloudstone Curio effect, so yes.
So, for those of you who haven't seen this card before, Words of Wind, you can pay a mana and skip your next draw to have each player bounce a card or a permanent to their hand. And you may be saying, but we're trying to draw cards, lots of cards. Well, yes. And precisely for that reason, we can skip one of our draws if we are drawing 3 or 4 off of the various enchantments we're playing to bounce one of the enchantments we control to our hand and then cast it again. Or, potentially, bounce Peregrine Drake or Cloud Fairy Story Hand, so it can reduce additional mana. And if we do this enough times, our opponents will have no permanents left, which is also kind of a win condition, though that's not really how we're trying to win per se.
Scepter Reversal is gonna be harder to do when we are gonna like the main mana that we're gonna have is gonna be based off our lands.
Yeah, we're gonna have some amount of rocks as well, but
so depending on where we end up, maybe, but I doubt it. With cards like Cloud of Fairies, having one or two Ravnica bounce lands is going to be good.
Sure.
Probably specifically the Azorius one.
Azorius Chancery.
Both Azorius.
Lands.
Deadeye Navigator wouldn't be the worst if we were gonna lean into like Palinchron effects too, like all in on Palinchron effects.
Yeah.
Right now we only have two. Um, it is something to keep in the back of our minds though, depending on the deck shakes out.
Yeah, we might end up doing some of that. Speaking of things that we can blink,
Helios Pilgrim is not bad. We should look at now that we have an idea of how we're gonna produce mana. We should look at okay, what is it called? Constellation effects. I don't remember all of them. I know Doomwake Giant is pretty swell.
I don't know how to spell anything. I don't know how to spell anything. We're gonna do some.
Oh my god.
I can't type either. An E. Been betrayed.
Cheers from Italy. All right.
Oh.
2 a.m. That is
That's rough.
Impressive.
Yeah. We thank you for your dedication.
Valley Flood Caller. Right now, we don't really have any creatures that care about tapping, but and the flash doesn't necessarily matter when we're trying to win the same turn. But it is something to keep in mind for sure.
Well, the Thaumaturge, it can copy our enchantresses mostly.
Yes, he'll be fine. It also, if we get like a duplicated version of our commander, it can copy that. So,
yep,
it's got some things. That's loss of life, so that doesn't matter.
The graveyards is nice, but I don't think we want to spend a slot on
care
that.
about stripping our opponent's hand. Yeah, if we make enough mana where Underworld Coinsmith is good, we can just recast our commander. So, yeah, that's probably it. Like, can't really. The graveyard hate is a thing, but that we could probably play a different card that is non-creature that costs 3 of Agent of Erebos.
Yeah.
This is the we're not trying to mill people.
Yeah. It's if we were, I guess we could lean more into
Like
retether and all
yeah,
that fun stuff, but given that getting all those enchantments out of the graveyard doesn't really draw you any cards, unless you have specifically the one Fury dude in here.
yeah.
I don't think that we really want to
Entity
lean into that.
tracker.
Yeah, it's a lot better if you are on green blue and you have Setessan Champion and things like that
And
that
idle
draw on entry. But yeah, I don't think milling ourselves out is all that useful, and milling our opponents out, it's not.
Yes, we've got Arenacuses in there right now. We don't have Spark Double at the moment.
Yeah, we've got basically 3 commander doubling effects between Arenacuses, Vile Duplication, Delny, and Roaming Throne. And honestly, like, while they are pretty good at getting us additional cards if we pass the turn, they don't really do anything when we're comboing out. Is the thing. It kills our opponents a little bit quicker, I guess. 2 or 3 times faster, technically, but given that our card draw, the card advantage that we're cutting out from our commander is based off of Curiosity, and Curiosity doesn't get copied by that necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not worth it. We may even cut 2 or 3, 2 or maybe even all 3 of the ones that we have in right now, but for now, they're probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, Downey and Roaming Throne are the best because it'll still tag the Curiosity. What is the thing? An Avatar God or something? Like what is it?
Who, what? This?
Yeah,
Cat Warlock.
Cat Warlock. So
Yeah.
nothing that I.
Wow, yeah. The cool thing about Roaming Throne as well is that it double dips on Kitten if you name Cat.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Delny specifically, like, since it triggers, yeah, those things that you said about it triggering twice, pretty good. Plus, Delny really helps a lot of our other Enchantress effects, like it gets Core Spirit Dancer unless we've enchanted it, and Ace Enchantress and all that fun stuff. Roaming Throne is just for our commander and a little bit of Displacer Kitten.
Well, thanks, Patch. We do what we can. Okay. So
Okay.
we need more
Actual auras.
Yeah.
So and some more lands as well. But I didn't put in Command Tower. That's probably a good one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Command Tower.
Yeah, Corrupted Conscience might make the cut. We're gonna see if we can find some more immediately. What's
useful or game winging?
Yeah, we'll say useful.
Yeah.
Enchantments.
In theory, if the deck is doing what we want it to do, we are not going to have difficulty finding a way to end the game. Ishla is going to do that for us by just us casting a bunch of things. But
we can
gotta
play
get there first.
Ashiok's Erasure. That'd be funny. Wait, that's not the one. No, that is the one. That's the 4-mana counter spell.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, so we should be thinking so our interaction, right, should mainly be coming from our enchantment sources. So figuring out what we're lacking per se, and then
what's the counter spell one?
Fear of Imposters, I believe. Yeah.
Much better than Ashiok's Erasure. Although it's It's a creature.
It's
so.
a creature. Anyway, Grasp of Fate is actually pretty good. But so the other thing too, eventually we need to put some actual auras in this deck. Grasp
Yeah.
of Fate is not an aura. So
I'll put it in for now because it's good. But
yeah.
the issue that we're going to run into, and the thing that we're going to have to try to figure out here live on stream, is how do we get more actual auras that cost 3 or greater that we want to actually play in the deck.
Yeah. So once we get a fair number of auras, Songbird's Blessing would be good. In theory, it's only going to trigger once, so actually, no. For what we're trying to play, that's actually bad. Yeah, I'll cut
It's pretty
that.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we do want them to be 3 or greater, and we don't want to end up just running a bunch of arrest effects. Uh, as funny as that would be.
Some maybe.
Yeah, we can run like 1 or 2, but
Spreading Seas.
so
Tainted Well. Tainted Well costs 3.
there's a couple of black auras that mess with people's lands that cost 3 or more. I don't remember what they're called though.
I guess we can look.
I mean, we can search for auras that draw a card on ETB. Start there. Downpour. Oh, Amphibian Downpour. Yeah,
is
yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah.
good to put in. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could put in Flight of Fancy. It draws cards. And does some other things that don't matter. The cartouches, the runes are all, well, I guess specific. The runes are all fine. We could run those. Hobble draws a card. Wanted more arrests.
Lithoform Blight was, but that doesn't cost. I mean, Hopple's not bad.
Ward. Probably not very. The runes all cost 2. I guess so does Spreading Seas.
Oh.
But there are things we can play.
Okay. Oh shoot.
Yeah, we're not gonna get a whole lot from that.
No, but it was just the top. Well, it's gone now. I guess
Okay.
we'll wait till it comes back.
Find some auras that return. Specifically themselves, we could play Cage of Hands.
Yeah, that was fine.
That one's like a little rough cost-wise, but it's probably okay. Do we want Conviction?
No, because it doesn't.
Critter. Disappeared. Technically, we can use it to bounce all of our opponent's creatures for triple blue mana. And like, it's pretty good with Kurgan Drake if we have a good land in play. I guess. A little questionable.
It is a little questionable.
I'll put it in for now, we can cut it. Most of these only bounce when the creature plays. Because we're not really trying to do land dies in some. Forced Worship is the opposite of what we want. Costs a lot to bounce and not very much to cast. Warning. Cost one more. It costs too little, they said.
Creams flow within. We did it.
It's a good card. Times.
Minimus Containment is a interesting card that we should probably play.
Yeah, maybe.
So the guy hit gives what? Unblockable and indestructible.
Yeah, something like that.
But I think the Helm of the Gas Lord is better at this moment in time for what we're trying to do.
I mean, they do different things, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
but it doesn't have flash.
It doesn't do anything that we really care about, is the problem.
Yeah, Helm of the Gas Lord is already in the deck. Someone suggested it earlier. We can play that Heart Storm. That other card.
Yeah. Fortunately, you don't get the cast triggers off of the extras, but it does do something, I guess.
Yeah, so it does a couple things. Depending on where we're at, we can just like straight up kill somebody. It also provides tokens if we're on that bounce Sage's Reverie life. So it is not the worst. It also, if we're gonna play either of the Ariettes, it does good things with that.
Either of the what's?
Ariette. The
one with the apple?
Yeah, there's two of them. There's one from Thunder Junction that straight up takes creatures, and then there's the original one. The original one, I think, doesn't really do much unless we're passing the turn. Yeah, so that's not the one. Yeah, they can't attack you. We don't care about that. The other one, Mind Controls. Yeah.
Are we spending 4 mana on this effect?
I have no idea.
But yeah, someone mentioned Sigil of Sleep. That one's a really good card. I like that card a lot. Put it in. You can tell that I like that card because it was already tagged.
Sagas wouldn't be bad. Again, we're gonna try to we want to try to maximize auras in this case though, because most of our enchantress effects draws off of specifically auras.
Yeah, we don't quite have enough actual enchantresses like the Mason Enchantress to just throw down any enchantment we like.
Oh, that's what it was. The door that copies triggered abilities for 7 mana. Because the 3 mana Sai makes a clone. Dang.
I guess there are no doors. What a mess. I'm not typed door. Should be, right?
You would think so, but
Other rooms. Yeah. All right, one of these.
Keep going.
Yeah, this
keep
one.
Going. No, it's this one.
The Meat Locker. And you like the store creator token that's copy of target creature you control, except it's a reflection. That'll be good for, I guess, specifically enchantresses if we have one in play.
Yep. And then Fractured Realm just
pretty good.
Does the thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's also not an aura, but
yeah.
Any other good aura tutors?
Boonweaver Giant. Let's get
Boonweaver
it.
Giant is definitely.
3 Dreams isn't bad. You get 3 auras.
Yeah.
And it triggers your commander.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. I don't really like 3 James in general, just because while it does get you 3 auras, it costs 5.
It does cost 5.
And while we are going to be doing some cost reduction, it's mostly going to be reducing the cost of our enchantments and auras. Which
That is true.
Free Dreams is not. I mean, we should probably play
Yeah,
a
they
little
are
Brand
rooms.
too,
We're
but
just clowns. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, they are rooms, as it turns out.
yeah, what is it? Arcane Signet. Did you add that in
I
there?
didn't yet know. The only mana rock I have in here right now is
The Soul Ring.
the Soul Ring.
Oh yeah, Reality Acid. I forgot about that guy. Old Brago Heat.
Reality Acid is pretty cool if we are on bounce stuff, which we are. The rest of the time, it's going to be like kind of a little bad, but it's fine. We're at 88. We still need a bunch of lands. I feel like. Oh, I don't have any MDFCs. Oh, that's probably it. There is a concise way to look for all of these that are just the bolt lands, but I don't know what's.
It's like
This one.
3 damage, but like yeah.
No, there's more to it.
Fell of a Frame, Glasspool Mimic is actually good.
Ish, yeah.
Ish. I would not play that one. Doesn't trigger our commander.
I would like that's something.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I wouldn't play any of the other ones.
We have 34 lands. That's
Robe of Arch Magi.
I believe that is an equipment. And it's only combat damage.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It does cost less to equip our commander.
That is true.
But we're not really going to combat. Okay, let's look by subtype. See how many auras we have right now. 18. That's not enough.
Not enough.
I would wager.
Play what black auras? Did you add Bitter Blossom to deal with flashback effects? No, we don't care about flashback effects.
Yeah, if they make a sack a creature, we'll sack a creature.
I mean, I guess we could just do a basic black aura search until something like a type of effect catches our eye.
Do we need it to be black? Does it matter?
Yes. Specifically, okay, for 2 reasons. If we just do generic aura, our brains will explode. And 2,
well, we can MV
3 or more. Yeah, we can do that too.
Then
yeah, that's probably fine. I was just trying to see if there's any
let's look at the 3 and 4 mana.
Momentum Breaker. Yeah. Oh, I'm a big fan of Momentum Breaker. I will say that.
It is a good card. I like it a lot in a Loris deck, and it's probably okay in a regular Enchantress deck, but we need more R's right now.
I was playing Jared on Thursday, and I Momentum Breaker with Seaborn Muse and Go Shintai out, and I sacked it. He's like, "You need max speed." I'm like, "No, you don't, buddy.
You don't. Just gain less life."
It was.
You can sack it.
He was not amused.
Like. I bet he was not. I wish I could have been there.
Oh, that's target opponent. Never mind. Bound in Gold. Woo.
Yeah.
Brink of disaster on people's lands. That'd be pretty funny. But so
yeah. It's also really double black, which is something we're probably trying to avoid.
That's true.
Cartouche of Ambition to kill something very small. I do love
Chains
me a
of
Chamber of
Custody
Manipulation.
is what I was thinking.
This is a card I need to play more of, but maybe not.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad.
Okay, I'll put it in.
We
have ways to untap lands, so technically no, it's only damage to a creature.
Killing an Ink Duelist would be decent once we put in more doors. So, Curse of Exhaustion isn't bad to shut down, like, targeted tax effect.
Only I can storm, not you.
Yeah. Chain of or Curse of Verbosity also might not be the worst.
Yeah, incentivizing people to hit your opponents draws you cards, in addition to the fact that this curse also just draws you cards.
Dreadful Apathy. Ooh, what a name. Encrust, perfect.
Fall from Favor makes you the monarch. Sometimes that's fine.
That seems pretty.
Oh, it is. I didn't say it wasn't. Flight of Fancy just draws 2 cards.
Sure, we can put that. And if only we had creatures that like tap for mana.
Yes, if only we were playing green, but then this wouldn't be difficult.
Yeah.
Be any fun if it was.
Prison of the Moon is fine.
Yeah, it probably is.
Ooh, yeah, buddy. I remember that. That guy. I really like that card.
Inner Demon?
Oh.
That kills all of our enchantresses.
Oh, is it all creatures? Never mind. I thought it was opponents. My bad.
All non-demon creatures.
The sadness.
Yeah. As much as I like that card as well. I guess that is the thing that we could do, right? Is we could go hard on conspiracy. We were kind of briefly talking about that as well.
I was thinking about it too. When you said it was a cat warlock, I'm like, so if we just put in like conspiracy and arcane adaptation.
Yeah, arcane adaptation. So if you're playing arcane adaptation and you put it on dragon and then you cast a teeming dragonstorm, the tokens from the dragonstorm return the dragonstorm itself.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. And if we are trying to play a 4+ or 3+ mana enchantment over and over, that is kind of a good way to do it. But I don't. That right now.
Not bad, but
it's not bad. It's not like.
I want, and it's probably would be in black. I want a aura that when it comes in, people have to sacrifice. And I feel like that exists, but I do not know. One with the stars. I don't know if we should play it.
Another
piece of removal.
Imprisoned in the Moon type effect. There is an artifact that prevents mana from disappearing, but again, we're trying not to pass the turn very much if we can avoid it.
Yeah, that artifact is 5 mana, so
also that. So it triggers our commander.
Yeah.
But also it's not. Yeah.
Venture into the dungeon. Precipitous drop.
Yep, sure is. The thing is, like, if we're not doing a lot of dungeon stuff, the first rooms of the dungeons are uh, Scribe 1, Scribe 2, and, like, player loses life or something. I forget what the Acerec one does at the first fight, but none of those are good enough.
Sure.
So,
Psychic possession.
it, mm,
Waxing.
Puppet Master is funny, but it's not good. And there we go. Finally broken it.
Snake cult initiation. That goes hard.
Could just play like a bunch of steel artifact effects and roll magics and stuff.
That would be a way to play this deck, yes.
Very good.
Ha! I guess Tamio's completion card. That should all ability after.
I feel like we have a lot of just like shut down this one specific permanent effects, but maybe that's the best we can. Might be okay.
Yeah, I
It
mean
is
we
double
untap some
black,
lands
but
as you
mentioned before,
as you
yeah.
mentioned before. Oh.
Right.
Can you do a search for auras that include sacrifice or like each opponent's sacrifice? Sacrifice.
Shouldn't be
Depending on
that
how
many.
much. 78. Ma!
Sure you'll survive.
Consecrated by blood. Sacrifice. No.
Or oh,
Yeah, when he did it.
that's the thing. Funeral mark. The end a creature leaves play, its controller sacrifices. Or black cards.
Yeah, well, I guess the card that I want doesn't exist. That's cool.
Okay, that's fine.
20 hours we got. 27. That's a better number. I wouldn't say that they're all good, but we do have 27 hours. If there's any good enchant lands we're missing, apart from Annex.
Blight. Apart from it.
Annex is a funny card. It's I mean, even so, sort of. Ramps you a little.
Anyway,
I opened a Turok's Gate once. I opened a pack of Fallen Empires, and I got Turok's Gate as my rare. How do you think that felt?
last laugh. Yeah, but we don't necessarily have anything to give indestructible. So
Yeah.
eventually
Also, it's not an
gonna die.
aura. Also,
Oh yeah, that's true.
it just kind of kills all of our enchantresses.
Yeah, if we were gonna play a board wipe, it would be something like Inner Demon.
Well,
Though, if we're on conspiracy effects, we can name Demon.
that is why I brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we were gonna do an enchantment-based removal spell, it would probably be Meat Hook Massacre. I would think.
That is also true.
But again, with the we don't really want to kill all of our enchantresses.
Or the Meathook Massacre 2, I suppose, that sacrifices creatures.
Yeah, that one's also
Which
bad.
gives us a little more, yeah, but it gives us a little more agency.
A little bit. Gives our opponents more agency.
That is true.
Most of the time, we're not worried about like one large creature because we're playing a million arrest effects and sheltered by ghosts and things.
That is true.
So it's more an issue of having lots of creatures and Meat Hook Massacre too. Not very good.
Unless we do that Dragon Storm loop. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
at 105.
We're at 105.
And our auras look whack.
Yes. You want to see our curve? I bet it's great. Oh, they didn't even show it to me. They don't want me to see it. No. It's 3. Our curve is 3. Deck's giving us the finger.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Go back to tags. While you're thinking about things, apart from the fact that we probably need like at least Gemstone Cavern's done. At least one more. Hall of Heroes Generosity is probably good.
Yeah.
Do we want to play either Urza's Cave to go find Sarah's Sanctum or Expedition Map
Or
plus
both.
potentially Urza's Saga?
Urza's Saga doesn't get anything except for Expedition Map. So unless we play more things, which I'm
Well, it
open
gets
to.
Soul Ring.
Yeah, so you get, it's like 2 things.
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth playing.
In that case, Search for Glory is just better than.
Yeah, that is true.
Also, we're not playing any basics. I realize that's what to do.
Yeah, we can.
But back to the task. Do we want to play Urza's Cave or not?
Urza's Cave seems fine.
Cave, do we want Search for Glory?
I like Search for.
Means that we're probably going to be playing snow basics because
Yeah.
it finds snow permanents and both of our good lands. Okay.
No Koi.
My fingers have a mind of their own.
All right. So as we keep adding cards to this deck, figuring out
we
what
probably
we're
want
gonna
to
end
cut
up cutting.
some number of lands and possibly up the basic count, maybe. Right now we're only running one
Yeah,
each,
I mean-
and our color scheme does not really support that. We'll probably cut, well, the champions. Probably cut Shadowy Backstreet.
our white, wait, our white, black, our is blue our most common color?
At the current time, blue
Yeah.
is
Okay. Sounds good. Yep.
yeah,
Sounds fine.
blue
I'm
and
fine
then
with
white.
those cuts. Which puts us at how many lands?
38
Okay. Yeah, that's
ish,
fine.
depending on if you count like Lorien Revealed as a land, which
Sure.
I do.
That's fine. How many creatures do we have?
28.
Oh, that's actually more than I thought.
Probably gonna be
which is
cutting
fine.
some, like this one specifically.
Well, that's why I was asking to know if we were gonna cut that guy, but um, yeah, I mean we're not on any replenishment effects right now, so I think like the surveil is a little bit weaker. Um,
And I imagine that some of these are things we're gonna want to cut anyway because we want a higher non-creature count.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, we can start by cutting Victor. Sorry, sir. In a different version of the deck, you would be.
Pretty neat, yeah. Do we want Will? Do we want Starnheim? Corsair?
Since creatures don't trigger our commander, I don't think we need to worry about that dude being 3 or more. So, like cheaper creature, the cheaper the creature, the better. As far as Will goes, he does make stuff like Omniscience cheaper, so maybe it's fine starting off.
Sure.
So Bogart Trialer is a land, Cloud of Fairies does the thing. Stelny is like the best card in his deck right now. Displacer Kitten does the thing. Doomwake Giant
Is our board wipe.
is our board wipe.
That's important.
That is important.
This is a counter spell of which we have 2.
Yeah.
Did we care? We want this?
It does do things with our bounce package. So it's probably not the worst.
Think about it.
Yeah, for now it's okay.
The land.
That's
This is
a
a
land.
tutor.
I don't know how I feel about hydroelectric specimen though.
I mean, it's a land, but I've got a lot of lands, so. Cost reduction, card draw, cost reduction, and card draw. That's important. This one's
Yeah.
kind of a little difficult to get going, but it is good.
It's decent. We can
We get
probably
there.
cut it for now. Because yeah, the clone, you have to have another enchantment come in. So then whenever it's cloning, even if it clones an enchantress, you don't even get the draw trick off of that. Yeah, it's probably not worth it at the moment because our biggest hitters outside of Displacer Kitten and Roaming Throne are legendary.
Tutor's a tutor. Roaming Throne. I mean, it does take a little bit of work to get going, and it is only our commander. And
yeah, you have to pick like something, right?
Yeah.
So
I like it,
yeah,
but it's gone.
if you were to make a version of this deck that leans into conspiracy effects, Roaming Throne gets infinitely better.
Yeah, it's also in the artifact version that I played earlier because it's an artifact and it's neat.
White spells and black spells. Most of our spells are blue. I'd probably cut that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Important. We are both good. The land and our kind of direct artifact enchantment removal.
Yeah.
And we got Will. Is fine for now, I guess. We only need to cut 4 more cards, and some of them are probably going to be lands.
I would look to cut some enchantments that aren't auras,
Okay.
but
How about
that's
Ashiok, stupid thing?
you. Yeah, since we have fear of imposters, that's probably
Yeah.
whatever.
Downpour. Well, okay. I'm gonna swap these back to tags, and I'm gonna tag the rest of these just so see exactly how many things we have that simply deal with creatures. This is creature. This is permanent.
Yeah.
This is a XP. Might mean that we don't need it, but Curse of Verbosity is cards. Here is
Oh, awesome. I forgot about Mirror Room, so that makes Roaming Throne even more like whatever.
redundant. Creature interaction is also kind of. And now Prison of the Moon deals with creatures. Creatures. Thing on all cylinders tonight. This one is permanent. No, it's just creatures. Creature enchantment.
Yeah.
So creature. One. Probably what we're cutting. Artifact though.
Yeah, artifact creature planeswalker. I mean, I'd cut one with the stars before I cut that.
That's fair. Do anything. This one. We need file duplication. That one feels pretty bad.
Yeah, we probably don't.
Yeah. So ways that we have of dealing with creatures, not as many as we thought.
No.
Maybe that's. I'm kind of looking at right now. This technique not really doing anything.
Yeah,
It's good with specifically entity tracker, and the rest of the time it's pretty bad.
Yes. Unless you're going for a kill, it is fine. Like it's another win condition, right? Like depending on how much mana you have, if your storm count's high enough, you just pump
Up your
team.
commander and hit. Oh yeah, I guess you can hit multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like
the fact that it doesn't give any evasion, and the fact that like, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't give an evasion,
You have to have
but if you have like
the
Doomwake
creatures in play
Giant or
already.
something-
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
If you
You
have
don't have a way to
Doomwake
get
and you
haste.
have that, and you don't have a way to buff, but
I mean, we can maybe for now. If Vivian does the thing a little bit better. You see an Astrid's invitation.
really early on.
Oh, okay.
I mean we can cut it if you want, but I think
No,
it's a good card.
that card's real good.
I guess Spreading Seas. It doesn't do anything apart from cantrip, really.
Yeah, we already have Tainted Well, and it does like the same thing,
Yeah.
but it also triggers our commander. So
Spreading Seas is a better card, but you see, Tainted Well costs 3, and that's very
yeah,
important.
we're bad.
Okay, it's still giving us the finger, but we can always try it out now. 100 cards in the deck.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a black-white aura with the black-white tap land on the other side. That's true. The MDFC in black white is an aura.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, lifelink isn't completely irrelevant, and sometimes you could hit someone for 4 in the face. It's another tap land.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut. So, is
Put it
that
in, we'll see
better
if
than
it's
the
better than.
clone?
Is it better than Glasspool Mimic?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Glasspool Mimic taps for blue, and also,
Sure.
it draws more cards over time, probably.
By cloning, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
We're not putting Infect on there. We thought about it though. We discussed it for a good 2 minutes. I think the Infect version is much more of like a control deck because you don't need to cast 12 million enchantments like we're trying to do here. I might have to build that though at some point. Not today.
Yeah. We could just pivot at
Yeah.
the last second.
I do have a control deck version of this deck that didn't really have a way to end the game, and if I had thought of Infect, that would have been pretty funny to do that on the channel. I think I like the artifact version I did play, but yeah, I don't know. Okay,
Is this
so
better than Hobble?
Hobble draws a card.
Hobble does draw a card. But, like, that's it.
I mean, neither of them does anything, really. So...
Right. Or Shackles.
Shackles bounces. Shackles
Oh,
is
shit.
like MVP.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shackles is how
That
we win the
artwork
game.
is insane, too.
Yeah. Gerard's living his best life.
Yeah.
I think I have a foil. Looks like it's worth $3 and almost a half dollars.
Let's go.
Ghostly Flicker is an interesting card. If we were playing more instants and sorceries so that Archaeomancer would be good in the deck, I'd probably say that it's good.
Yeah.
As it is, I think so. Like, I get that it's really good with Peregrine Drake and it gets us mana, but so does Turnabout. I think Turnabout's less dependent on having certain things in play first. I don't think we even want Turnabout.
Yeah, because we don't like if we looped it more. If we had more loops, it would be fine.
This is our Turnabout.
Correct.
It only costs 6 mana, or cost reduced down
Flight
to
of
4
Fancy
mana. Flight of Fancy draws 2 cards.
does,
Pretty bad though.
but like, yeah, we're still trying to find a cut for this land.
Yeah, we are playing 37 lands at the moment, including field, which is us.
Yeah, 36 and a half lands.
Ish. I guess Flight of Fancies, find a cut. All it does is give flying. Draw 2 cards.
Yeah, I think since we're on Enchantress anyway, having the option of getting a land is probably better than drawing 2 cards.
Yeah, maybe.
Bolas of Citadel is also probably bad when you're playing 37 lands or 38 lands.
Well, we're kind of
37
1,
and a
2,
half.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 of those are not lands to Bolas of Citadel.
That's true.
So it's like 29 lands.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's probably better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bolas of Citadel is very funny with our commander because we get some of the life back.
That is true.
Which is another thing that I did in the other version of the deck, but no one saw it. I didn't draw that. Nope. It was not in the cards, as it were. Let's play this hand. It has 2 lands. We don't really have a lot of ramp in this deck.
Do not. We should probably
We're still playing these triple black spells.
Yeah, we should probably fix that.
Okay.
All right. So as far as ramp goes,
As far as ramp goes, we have these. If you
some
know,
of that, yeah. I mean, some of it counts. There's not really enchantment ramp we can be playing, so well, Smothering Tithe. We should probably be on Smothering Tithe.
Smothering Tithe is, I believe, a game changer, so we will play it.
What game changes do we have? Citadel, Their Sanctum,
Citadel, Serra Sanctum, and
Necropotence. We can probably not care about Necropotence.
Sure.
Like it's also triple.
It is also triple black. I was definitely playing Dark Ritual in the artifact version of the deck because there's a lot more colorless costs, and I wanted to support. Yeah, maybe we don't play Beseech. A little. We could be playing the Dove thing.
Oh, the 6-mana spell.
Idyllic Tutor.
Oh, the good one. Yeah, we could probably play Idyllic Tutor. Lever Guidance.
I mean, you know, you can do that too. Okay.
Anyway, so
I don't know if this is any better now, but we're gonna try it.
because we didn't add any more ramp, but that's fine.
Oh, we didn't actually.
No.
We just talked about it.
So
we're gonna add 3 talismans to bring us up to 10.
the 3 talismans, a Fell War Stone. You'll probably want around 10-ish sources.
Let's
Like
put us up to
8-ish,
11,
8 Signet type effect.
depending on how you count things such as Transcendent Boy.
Yeah.
Really, 1, 2, 3, 5 of the super count. So it's 6 for all spells, and some number more for other spells, and then we
Yeah.
have these 2 hanging out for when we need to go big.
Yeah.
And Smothering Tithe. And Omniscience is still in the deck.
Yeah.
Then-
Missions is fine.
Yeah.
It helps with the bomb swoops.
Yes, it does make them very easy. Point.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong, I like Omniscience
yeah.
in general.
I don't think you could. Because especially since we kind of went down on, I guess we didn't go down on tutors, but
Oh, I didn't tag this as land, so that's not even part of our link.
I was counting it. But so
38.
you could probably no 38 is 3 dreams could probably go.
Yep. Not gonna fight you on that one.
Yeah, we know. That's why I suggested. Underworld Connections.
Reality Acid, maybe. Reality Acid is really only good if we're looping.
But that's where we want to be. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Trouble in Paris is probably a good card. I mean, it is a good card, but it's probably worth putting in the deck because it's enchantment and it's no longer a game changer for some reason.
Yeah, that's better than Underworld Connections.
Underworld Connections is an aura.
It is. I mean, we can keep it. That's fine, but
I think it's important.
then I would cut.
Certain definitions of important.
I would cut one with the stars.
Yeah, okay.
What about
Maybe disappear is
really
too
not?
cute.
Oh yeah. What?
Disappear. It's probably not that good. It's
Uh,
like okay with specifically Peregrine Drake if we have Corbyn land.
yeah, we can cut this.
Done.
So what are we at? 25 wars now.
23.
23. We cut 2 more when I wasn't looking. Oh yeah, we cut that. 23 is
We can look
still
at
fine. We can't look at mana value.
if I had to point to something,
Three
maybe one of these.
Okay. Well, Will Sign of Peace has to have some get out of summoning sick. I think that makes that an easy cut.
He died
Um,
again. Grasp of Fate, maybe.
yeah, let's do Grasp of Fate. I don't want to cut another aura. So.
Yeah, same. Okay, now we're more white than blue.
Oh boy.
Which is interesting.
So we'd have to change our lands from the Demir lands to the Orzhov lands.
Yeah, probably. We could also just like
Or the white. We could cut
run Rafine's Tower instead of one of the things.
Yeah, we could run Rafine's Tower instead of
the second Surveil land.
yeah, instead of Undercity. No, Undercity. So we have Meticulous Archive, Shadowing
Undercity Sewers
Factory,
and Shadowing
Undercity.
Factory.
Yeah, okay. So I would cut Undercity Sewers for Rafine's Tower.
Oh, right now we're still
Oh yeah,
land
that's
up.
true.
But
So what is that?
in theory, if we were to keep it the same as what we were doing before,
Morphic Pool.
it'd be Morphic Pool.
Okay, that's fine. And then we can cut Stone Caverns for Rafine Tower. Or no, Gemstone Sorry, I'm thinking of Gemstone Mine.
Yeah, Gemstone Mine would be a weird ad. We can just delete all the champions too.
Yeah,
Or
that's
Shadowy
probably
Backstreet,
fine.
one of the two of them.
No, I like having 2
Surveils?
Surveils.
Okay.
That's probably fine.
It does. It's if we were to build around that card, because having another enchantress effect is something that we wouldn't necessarily dislike.
Play the 3-drop instant that deals 4 damage to any target and 2 damage to you.
Yes, we could play Psionic Blast. The other thing that we could do is we could change some of our more questionable auras into like go back towards Steel of the Godhead type things so that our commander can actually attack the thing, which is probably not like super great, but sometimes you just kind of need to do that.
Also, Invasion of Ikoria is a card, so I don't know if we'll be the only one at the table with
Battle, yeah.
battle.
The fact that this just searches for an aura is pretty good. Do we want to put any gods in the deck just to... No, probably not. I'm gonna put it in. It's fine. Hey, we've upped our 3-drop count.
We did, and we're gonna up it again when we play again.
Kill the Godhead.
Yeah.
And Infiltrator's Mage Mark is the other one I can think of.
Okay.
pretty much just that one. Oh, we want to go this deep.
Unquestioned authority.
Infinite authority.
Sure, or unquestioned authority.
Oh, yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah.
Probably better than Mage Mark, honestly. Like, the +1/+1 doesn't really matter. And they might have defenders, I guess. Although this does make multiple creatures. Two.
Yeah.
Cantrips.
All right, our
Okay.
37 3-drops.
We're down to 104 cards.
Probably. I guess we're cutting all from 3-drops, huh?
Probably. But our account's up. We're at 26
Sure.
now.
All right, so Agni and origin. Okay. All those were
We don't need to be protected. We're just gonna storm out and die.
yeah.
We probably don't need necessarily all of these types of effects.
Yeah, like Nerd Rage is
If we draws two
probably.
cards.
Nerd Rage draws 2 cards, but we did just put in another enchantress. Sort of. I mean, it's kind of like just straight up an enchantress because it draws you a card when it enters the battlefield, and then the card you're getting is probably one of those unblockable things. So then you just flip it.
Sure.
Seems
But
fine.
we can use this. We can use Nerd Rage to flip our battle.
Got no maximum attacks if you hit them. Oh, sure. All right, whatever. That is true. It does get thick.
Reality Acid.
Reality Acid does seem like, or Tainted Well.
Tainted Ball's pretty bad too. Not gonna lie. It's cool, sorta.
How many cards do we have that returns themselves?
2.
2 Shackles and Flickering
Flickering
Ward.
Ward.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good.
Yeah, both of those cards are
Hobble better than Reality Acid?
Is Hobble better than Reality Acid? Well, depends on the board state, I guess. Hobble literally does anything in cantrips, whereas Reality Acid does absolutely nothing unless you have specifically Cloudstone Curio or Displace Your Kitten
or
Words of Wind.
Yeah. Okay, I guess Reality Acid.
I like the card. I do.
And Hobble. There's our 2.
You're at a Hobble too.
Unless there's another 3-drop that
No,
where's
we just went down on ours again.
we did at like 23
again.
No.
23 on us.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to deal with the Godhead and Humble Gas Lord in already. Godhead wasn't in until just now because we didn't really have a reason to attack, but since we're playing a single battle, we decided that it's probably worth it.
I mean, that seems like a fine hand.
Yeah.
You can underroll connections. You've got the stupid enchantress.
Skills Archive, dig for something useful.
Like that.
Fine.
Yeah. Unless you pull the black source.
Yeah, you could do that. I think we're probably going to be using our mana for most of the turns, though, so doesn't matter. It's not even. Well, we're going to be putting this tapped at some point. So it kind of doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3. Let's say this one. Probably good. We'd probably keep it up. Flash, you see.
Sure.
This. Turn Hey, we've got another payoff. All of our auras cost 5. What?
We can bolt. No, we can play both. We can play Witch and Majigger into
Yeah, that's true.
Shram into Underworld Connections.
Connections, we'll put it on.
You'd have to
the
tap
worst.
differently though.
Well, yeah.
That's fine.
Black into that, into that.
Sure.
Got 2 cards.
So then we can play our commander.
Commander, draw a card.
Play a land.
The only one. Well, I guess we have this. Well, at this point, I guess it would probably be better to play this one because we have an enchantress in play. If this leaves play though, this becomes very bad. Well, maybe it doesn't. I guess it's fine. I don't know. At this point, we can play our battle.
Oh boy.
And
Dome everybody for 2.
dome everyone for 2.
Get a curiosity effect.
Get curiosity specifically. Here, play forward. No, this.
Nah, I wouldn't hold it. Because even if they kill both, like they have to kill both enchantresses, so like you get a board wipe, sure. But at that point, you
Sure.
can replay your commander. We can attack into the battle specifically, because you can use Pilgrim to go get another aura or something. You have 2 things that clear blockers. Like, no, I think it's fine. What are you? Oh, okay.
Disregard.
Sure.
Because it's the thing that makes our commander unblockable while also drawing.
Sure. Draw a million cards. Good. I don't know why you
Okay, I
tapped
tapped
5 for
6.
6 for
1, 2, 3,
Helios
4, 5,
Pilgrim.
6. I was doing it ahead of time. It's fine.
Okay.
We do this. Triggers. Everyone takes 2 damage. We draw 3. Draw 1 from this. Oh. We do not seem to be.
Throw it all. Not at 842, friend.
Yeah. Probably missing. They go off. And we haven't really found a good way to produce mana yet. Problem. We're on turn 7. We're not really doing anything.
Yeah. Well, you drew a bunch of cards and hit a bunch of people for some amount of damage. But I think what we can do. Okay.
Quick.
Sure.
But speak while I'm fishing.
So since our majority thing is like mana or whatever, you've got a couple options. To synergize, like how do you make your lands produce more mana? Like high tide effects, right? But high tide itself is pretty poopy with the shell that we have here. So if you lean into swamps, you can play Cryptghast and Arcana Revenant to produce more mana to synergize with the untap effects. You could also play Bubbling Muck, but like, why would you? You do get Urborg, which would synergize with the Urza's Cave package. Look at that, the battle loves us.
Yeah.
What do you do
Tutor of Curiosity.
Yeah, probably.
Curiosity, probably don't
Well,
play
this is
it.
turn 4. You could actually just Doom Lake Giant here.
Yeah, I'm fine with
And
that
then
too.
Tutor up Curiosity next turn. But either way, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of all depends on what the board state looks like and all that. But,
Yeah, if nobody has any creatures, I suppose it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to Doom Wake.
So part of the problem with our deck is that this
33.
we are not doing anything on the first few turns unless we get lucky.
Yeah.
And
Do we need, okay, so if the point that we are trying to get to is an end game where we start bouncing 3 mana value enchantments, in theory we don't need a whole lot of 3 mana values or higher stuff, because once we get
just
to the
go and
end
get the one that
game,
we care about.
yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of these crappy ones we probably don't need. We can put in overcosted stuff. So
Check out all the really questionable ones, including some of them that we just put in there, because like we don't actually need to check the battle, I don't think.
so what is this? Says convoke? No, affinity. Okay, never mind.
Affinity for auras. Enchantment spells you cast have affinity for auras, which is this is like our best cost reducer, and
Yeah.
also
No, that's fair.
is card draw. When we enchant our own stuff, we draw cards. If it's already
Sure.
enchanted.
Yep.
So that's all pretty good. I'm gonna remove most of these kinds of effects. I'm being
I will say that storm spell works real good with that card, because you can stack it on one thing. Because it says when it enchants it, right?
whenever you cast an aura spell that targets a modified
Oh,
permanent.
never mind then. Okay.
So some of those Curse of Exhaustion seems unnecessary here. Regulation seems here. Completion. Lots of these
Anyway.
fine. I guess we have. Yeah. That gives us like 8 slots to put in cards that do anything before turn.
Esper Sentinel is decent if we pump it.
I don't know that we have a lot of things that actually pump stuff, but it is just like a good card, I guess.
Yeah.
Slows people down. Same kind of thing with Paladin class. It is an enchantment, which matters, and it prevents other people from interacting with our stuff when we're trying to go off.
I don't know about
Theoretically,
Mystic
we could pump
Remora,
stuff.
but Esper Sentinel has some synergy with potentially some of the auras that we're playing.
Remora is probably reasonable just from the fact that it is A, a one-man enchantment, and B, the fact that it will slow people down if you play it early. So I think Remora is probably good.
Sure. Momentum Breaker is pretty good since we're on Astra's Invocation.
Okay.
It also actually like triggers the thing because of our commander. So,
Here's what thing?
Dark Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter,
Whatever.
but
Gain 4 life. Momentum Breaker is good. Do we have 4 cards left. Ideally they would be cards that are 1 mana, but they don't have to be.
they don't have to be. I do think we should play Crypt Breaker and look at our mana base to skew more towards swamps, but
Crypt Breaker?
Crypt Gas, sorry.
Yes. The thing is, like, again, with we are not playing very many black cards.
Yeah, so it's less playing the black cards and more it just gives us more mana. We could do um
Like Weathered Wayfarer.
yeah, that gets us the lands that we want. Um, but you like Crypt Gas acts similar to the cost reducers, but it actually reduces colored mana pips in theory. Like worst case scenario, it's just a generic pip to go into a spell. Best case is it actually allows us to cast our black cards, right?
Sure.
It also kills people quicker because of the extort, but
And Extort is good with our commander as well.
Yep.
For the bottom part if we end up passing the turn or whatever.
yep.
Land tax. We're only playing 3 basics, so this is not the Armageddon deck, unfortunately. Hopeless Night.
It just no, it just discards a card. We're not playing it.
Okay.
It's in my 8-rack deck, but it's a 1-mana enchantment. Each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life, and then you can pay 3 mana to sacrifice it. When it hits the graveyard, you get to scry 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, believe me, I would be the first one to play Armageddon and Cataclysm and things if I thought that it was the right deck for it.
Grievous Wounds.
But we're playing in bracket 3 and you can't play those cards.
Grievous Wounds. If we were going to lean into Hateful Eidolon, Grievous Wounds, Dead Weight, cards like that would be better. I don't think we are at this moment in time, so I don't think we play Grievous Wounds. Wait, is that no? I'm thinking of Stab Wound. What is Grievous Wounds?
I don't know because I can't spell. Maybe it's not a real card.
I think Grievous is spelled like G-R-I.
It is wound.
Oh, okay. Enchant player can't gain life whenever enchant player is dealt it. Oh.
That's very funny. But probably not for this.
No, that's the same logic as why we're not playing. In fact, you get to an end game where the speed up the clock cards is irrelevant because you can just do the thing. So
Yeah. It's
that's good.
yeah, because if you do that enough, they will die. And if you're playing like Glacier Kitten or something, you can flicker it to someone else at that point, which would be very funny.
That is pretty good.
But
how is that not a curse? That's wild.
yeah, they don't like printing curses because they fear your power.
That's true.
Okay. Other cheap cards we can put in real quick.
Mm.
That are good and worth playing. I should.
Yeah.
Because we just play more like Helm of Awakening.
I mean, I'd play Krillcast over Helm of Awakening.
Old, but okay, I guess we can do
Krillcast is good. I know you're not a believer, but I've played.
that. I'm not a believer in a deck that is 13% black.
Sure, but you can. Okay, again,
I get what you're saying about the converted mana, or the generic mana cost. The problem is that then we have to skew our mana base to be able to produce black.
Yes.
And then they're not casting our other spells. Our double white and our double blue spells specifically.
Yeah, so you can like you don't mess with it too much. You just play Urborg.
Just play your board. Okay.
So like something like I probably cut Sea of Clouds for the black red thing, right? Or not black red, the black white version. But for the most part, like
That one's not a swamp.
oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. Your fetchables need to stay. Um,
We can throw an Urborg if you want.
yeah, we should play Urborg for sure.
Maybe we just have to play Expedition Map.
Yeah, we can play Urborg and Expedition Map. Um, maybe we cut Urza's.
You know what draws us cards if we're playing Urborg and we have our commander out?
Oh, I'm blanking.
Karma.
Oh, anyway,
We could play Dread of Night because we
thinking
need more 3-drops.
real cards. Karma. I mean, Karma would make everybody at the table have to read it. That is for sure.
You would be surprised, but yeah. This Cave does find it, and the problem is that we need more ways to find things because we fished a couple of games and we never found Sarah's Sanctum or Nykthos or a way to either of those. Just having more ways to get those is pretty good, and the fact that we are apparently trying to make Cryptcast work makes it so that finding Urborg is also of moderate importance. So, that in. Cryptcast. We added a land. We can probably cut one if you want. Maybe it's a MDFC because they don't have a type. Or maybe it's Sea of Clouds. I don't know. What do you think?
If we're on the Chancery, probably doesn't matter anymore. If we're on Cryptcast,
That's true. It probably doesn't. Because they kind of have the same role. And we could do it.
and then I would add back in
Red of Night?
Undercity Sewers.
Sure. We want to cut Archive then?
Yeah, we can, or Caverns. Like Archive being a fetchable to help smooth out the fact that we're
Thing.
maybe.
Gemstone Caverns.
Or
is
no,
like-
no, sorry. I keep
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, do the Archive. Do the Archive.
Okay.
That's fine.
I like Archive, and I think that it's probably the best of the surveil lands in this deck if we were not trying to skew heavily towards black.
Yeah. I also like the last when I built the Grixis Garuda deck. I built a swamp mana base in 3 colors. Support Cryptgas. I went more all in. I was playing like the coming to play tap lands too. So I'm not expecting us to do that, but it works way better than I think you are giving it credit for.
Hope so.
You put in, yeah, you did put in. So
We could play Siege the Mirror again. If we wanted to.
yeah, we can try it.
It's not cheap, but it comes with its own ramp of sorts. Kinda.
And now that we're skewing towards like
Black.
black,
Yeah.
low key, that should be easy to cast.
Yeah, I think Dark Ritual would be a lot better if we were actually playing more black spells, but we're just changing our mana values to be black, or our mana producing lands to be black, so we can support Cast.
This thing's
We've got 2 enchantresses
fine.
and no enchantments.
Cause so you you throw.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we're all in on please don't kill our commander yet.
There's an enchantment, sorta. Probably this one.
Yeah, into Felwar Stone.
Felwar Stone. Next turn, we do this. Find, I guess, at this point, Fountain, unless someone else has planes for us to steal. Commander.
Yep.
Turn, we can copy the nothing.
So this turn we can probably hold up Sinking in Stupor or the Tracker.
Yep. That makes sense.
And then
War as a land.
Yeah. So let's say they don't do anything we care about, we can slam the Tracker and then untap and go into probably
Copy Tracker.
Copy the Tracker. Drain everybody.
Tracker, drain everyone, draw a card, play. Or we could do this. Play a 3-drop.
Play the tireless or the Tracker. So I mean, I guess at that point we'd do it in the opposite direction. Play Lookout first, and then copy the Tracker. It's a 6 mana, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but we didn't have this.
Oh yeah. I was going off of with the information that we had. Instead of playing that first and drawing a card, you'd play Tandem Lookout, Soulbind,
Sure.
and then play the mirror.
Thing so we can draw 4.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
whatever.
Yeah.
This guy is. Who cares? Okay. We've drawn some cards now.
So now we have well, depends. If our opponent has a black source, we could play Citadel off of this.
Yeah, they do. We probably.
Yeah.
And we still have a land drop, which is neat. Ouch. Trigger. We will draw 4 cards. We're going to draw. These are separate triggers, though, right? So we would have the opportunity off the top.
Can I? What does Tandem say?
Yeah.
There's separate triggers.
Okay, so we'd flash this in the middle of it. Then we could beseech the mirror and draw 6 cards. Stacking probably trouble pairs.
Sure.
Gaining some life. Going to get. What do we even get? Out of fairies?
Yes. Because we need a way to get. No, it would be. Oh, yeah. No, it would be Cloud of Fairies. Because we need to be able to get. We got to get to quadruple blue.
Yeah. So we do that. Here it
Untap
is.
2 blue sources.
Well, probably the duels. We can cast this off the top. Not draw us any cards, but it's another blue source. And guess what? We haven't played our land yet. 1, 2, 1,
We
2,
should, that should be
3,
untapped.
4, 5.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
should have 6.
Okay.
So then we can play Mind Over Matter.
Draw us 7 cards. And it's kind of trivial from here.
Yeah.
Discard 3 cards, cast
Literally anything.
literally anything. Discard 1 card, cast Curiosity, do stuff. with the
Oh,
game.
why no Sensei's top?
Top's really only good with the deck if you are playing, well, if you have Citadel in play. The rest of the time, it is both not an enchantment and not an actual source of card advantage. So it's just fine. I don't know that it's really worth the spot. If we had counterbalance in the deck, maybe it would be fine, but
Yeah, but if we had counterbalance, we would want to be a slower deck than we are.
yeah,
So.
which we're not. Mirror Maid. So the thing with Mirror Maid is that copying one enchantment once is not. I mean, it's fine, but as you can see, we did not have a lot of enchantments in play most of that game, so copying them is not super relevant. Like the Astrid's Invocation just kind of sat in our hand for a minute there. We could have cast it out at some point to become a second Ophidian Eye or something if we had passed the turn after playing Bolas the Citadel and doing all this stuff. But until then, it doesn't really copy this very well, and there wasn't really anything else to copy. And Astrid's Invocation is like the best of the copy effects as well.
Kind of. The other ones let you copy other people's enchantments, but we don't really care about other people's enchantments.
Probably.
So...
Well, if they have like a Rested
Just-
Study or
yeah.
something, maybe that's good. Okay. I'm gonna restart. We're gonna try this once more, and if it's good, we'll call it. And if it's not, we'll probably still call it. 'Cause it's, things. This hand has one of the strongest cards. in
Yeah,
it,
I would
which
probably
is not
look at this
enchanted.
hand though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we'd have to pray we could draw an aura, which is like kind of reasonable, but there's
But also
no
kind of
guarantee.
unreasonable. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Well, we found an aura and nothing to
Nothing
do with it.
else. Going to 6. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
What is this?
So Joel Sleep, have you not read
Oh
this card?
yeah, that's right.
That's hilarious.
Hmm.
Well, we can either gamble on one of the lands, or we can pitch this thing, probably,
It
or
pro-
Sigil of Sleep.
We'd probably pitch Sigil asleep
Yeah.
and lead on the
Well, SRAM's fine.
Yeah,
We have a
'cause
couple of auras.
yeah. So we go Shram into probably Curse of Verbosity.
Yeah, unless there's something that we absolutely needed to remove, because I do that. But
That is true.
and it gives SRAM Ward, which is not irrelevant. Let's say it's this. Oh,
Because we can like pretend we attack.
and
Oh.
and I guess since our hand is white, we probably want Hallowed Fountain. No, it's not a swamp.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go get Hallowed Fountain and play it and cast. Oh, probably 1 or 2.
Yeah.
1 mana efficiency. Draw a card. 1, 2 talisman. 1, 2 talisman. 1, 2.
Who's life?
Bird.
That guy.
I mean, we could have kept them better to know
Sure,
who's alive.
that's fair.
There's a bird. Look at that bird. Yup. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Commander. We can now play this for 2 mana.
Can we?
Oh, no, we can't. What's the other one?
So open
We
the
can
armory
go
for a curiosity effect.
open an arm for. I guess it doesn't really matter. Curiosity's probably
Yeah,
better than.
curiosity is fine because then we can go curiosity into smothering tithe
Yeah.
and then do the thing. Or nerd rage.
So we start with curiosity.
And
We draw a card.
Sure.
Biddy and I. 1, 2. Biddy and I draw 3, 4 cards. Those were all lands. Yep, that sounds right.
Well, we didn't play a land.
True. We'll get there. Nerd Rage draws 7 cards.
Sure.
Okay. We haven't land drop yet. Like Cloud of Fairies, but it doesn't. We don't have any of the good lands.
I think at
I
this
guess we
point you're
Nerd Rage the
probably
bird or something. Oh yeah, Nerd Rage draws 2 as well. There we go. We've solved it. Just kidding. I mean, it does, but we can't.
yeah, I probably would not play that. I'd play a different land so you can go paladin class into Esper Sentinel.
Discard down to hands.
You know, or in some of these infinite lands. Yeah, so I don't think someone else's Ristic matters when we're drawing like a million cards. But I could be wrong. Copy Enchantment and Mirror Maid could be cards that you add to the deck. If I were to add them, I'd probably cut Estrid's Invocation depending on meta, and then potentially one of the curiosity effects.
Look at this perfect mana base.
Yeah, yeah.
Synergies. Okay, I'm gonna play this one. I have blue mana or 1 white mana. Probably the white.
6 white mana, Slam Cloud of Fairies.
Probably not. Or I guess, yeah, we do this first. Do this, we can bounce. No, it's an artifact. We can bounce this one because it's cheap and the Nerd Rage goes down. Which will untap these and 6, 3, 2. Still have enough to do this again. 1, 2, 5 this time. 3, 2. A little bit short.
What if you
We'll get this into play. We can do it, or
which we have enough. So
we'll get infinite white mana. We'll filter into blue and black mana because you can do that with.
Yep, and then you kill everybody with Cryptcast or your commander.
Or the commander.
You would probably end up bouncing the commander, so you don't. Oh wait, no, none of this stuff.
None of this triggers
it. Yeah. So then you kill everybody with Cryptcast.
Well, you probably start swapping. Once you have infinite mana, you can use Istrid's Invocation to blink or to bounce Curse of Verbosity, draw a bunch of cards. Or you can use it to bounce this thing. and you can put this on SRAM instead, and you can bounce it. And you can eventually just kill everyone that way.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you can remove all these effects with Custom Curio.
Yeah, you can do that too. Or if you're lazy, you can just play Cryptcast and extort everybody to death.
Yeah, the draw is also a May. Both of these.
Well, yeah, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Yes. Also, the draw is a May. Yes.
Yeah, for both of them. I don't know if it is for Tandem Lookup, but I assume it is. It'd be a little weird if it wasn't. It isn't.
Not
Okay.
a May.
Well, that's fine though. If that was in play, you could bounce it with Cloud of Fairies. It's
Yeah.
do
the
stuff.
thing.
Okay, so we have constructed a deck that does more or less what we were trying to get it to do. Like we kind of said going into it, we were kind of fighting an uphill battle to build Esper Enchantress, but
Good exercise.
it's a good exercise. I think that there's the curiosity stuff at the very least is pretty real. I might end up building the control version of this deck and putting in like an aura sub theme so I can go fiery system people.
Because then you can play like delve cards and stuff and just
Yeah,
gank
those were on the
people.
list, and submerge.
Yeah.
You can play submerge plus you have a Maya if you want to. I don't know if that's necessarily necessary, as it were. Someone's probably playing green. You just play submerge anyway. And go for the throat. I mean, not go for the throat. Dismember. Dismember is really good because it
Dismember
both triggers
is
your
pretty
commander and loses you 4 life. Anyway, we're going to leave it there though. This will go up. If Jason ever accepts the quest or the request to co-author it, this will go up on our box field for the channel. If not, link to it is in the description. We are going to be back probably next week to do something else. I don't know what yet. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Once we got the battle on the deck, that was the
glue.
the key.
Unlock the entire deck.
Yeah. Specifically the runes. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. If there's something you want us to build, we might look at the comments and build that. Otherwise, there's more Final Fantasy spoilers eventually, maybe. I don't know when they are or if they'll be out next week, but if they're not,
we'll do something else.
we'll do something else. Someone will do something. A deck will be built, perhaps. Wait, am I busy next week? I don't think so. We'll find out. There may or may not be a stream next week. Okay, that's gonna be it.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.